I want to give you a story of a hot day in September in DeKalb County, Georgia. Yes, the DeKalb County, Georgia, on January 5th, the whole world was watching as we elected two new U.S. senators. I got called to come to an extended stay hotel. I had 11 families that were kicked out on the street. I came over, they had armed guards, with families that were helpless, couldn't do anything on the street. And it was hot in Georgia in September, very hot. I mean, it was burning up. And those families were in need of a lot of help. These were essential workers who the $600 unemployment funds had just been cut off from. I had to call a church that was just across the street who had gotten funding and COVID relief funds to help. They were able to provide 5 days of housing for these families. Those families have been looking for a place to live from September, and now, goodness, we have 9 of those 11 families have found a permanent place to live. But part of our COVID relief funds, we wanted to make sure that those families had legal help. And so I use some of my funds to make sure that that happens. Just on yesterday, we found out that those 11 families have won their lawsuit, that extended stay was wrong for doing that. As we talk about the eviction moratorium being extended, as we talk about food relief, food insecurity, eviction help, this rescue package will help us to help those families and many more, because the counties are where the rubber meets the road, and we want to make sure that's happening. So I want to share that quick story with you as I get into my points of what I want to talk about to America, to our Congress. Please, please, please continue to come to our counties and walk in our shoes. And I will take you to see those families and visit them. America, we can't afford to leave nobody behind. We have to make a difference in counties making it happen. But we need this relief package and plan to do more for us in our communities. My name is Larry Johnson. I'm a DeKalb County Commissioner, the first Vice President for the National Association of Counties. Counties are where residents are feeling devastating about the impacts from this pandemic, both on the public health and economic development recovery fronts. America's 3,069 county governments support over 1,900 local public health departments, nearly 1,000 hospitals and critical access clinics, more than 800 long-term critical facilities, and 750 behavioral health centers. Additionally, county governments are responsible for emergency operations centers, 911, courts, jail management, public safety, emergency response, protective services for our children, seniors, and veterans. And the last of the first responders are also there to make a difference in our communities, our coroners, our medical examiners, and among the many essential public health services are needed. We're urging Congress to pass Biden's America Rescue Plan, which includes state and local funding now. We need help right now. We're not going to sugarcoat it. We are hurting. Counties across the country are digging into our reserves and borrowing against our future to fight this pandemic. We need help. We've been calling for a corona relief package with direct and flexible aid for months now, and it's too long. In Georgia alone, we have 731,000 people been tested positive for coronavirus. 12,000 people have died. In my county alone, I have 45,000 people, residents, who have tested positive. 580 of them have died. I have 2 of the top 5 zip codes in the county, and that's too much. And the county has distributed over 80,000 care kits. We've collaborated with community partners to distribute about 20,000 masks and gloves with our first responders. We've held over several food distributions throughout the county to address food insecurity. We appropriated community-based organizations like I talked about, Atlanta Legal Aid, eviction relief, giving money to churches to help us with food pantries. We're doing everything we can to mitigate the virus, keep our small businesses alive, serve the most vulnerable residents, including our seniors, our children, unemployed, the sick, and county frontline workers to fight this pandemic. But we remain committed to building back better after this public health and economic crisis. Congress, we need you to come on and help us. It's not all about Wall Street or Main Street. We need our streets to be taken care of. The federal resources, including the American Rescue Plan, would enable county leaders to make strategic investments in an immediate task of vaccinating our residents, mitigating the spread of this deadly, destructive virus. These unprecedented times for unprecedented cooperation and bipartisanship, both parties, and I stress, both parties should work together and pass this American Rescue Plan. Now I'll hand it back over to Mayor Wheatley, and thank you all for listening. For DeKalb, we have a double-digit unemployment rate. We're already starting behind. That's why the sense of urgency of now is so crucial, that we need this type of support. I had a lady who called me yesterday. She called COVID for the second time at 103-degree temperature, 100, and then she says finally got down to 98. But we have folks, I got a 19% of the people in my district don't have internet access. So trying to access the computer to get an appointment is even making it worse. And so that whole group that's essential to our workforce is steadily falling behind because we have barriers that's put up. I mean, we had that barrier before with COVID testing. You had to have a PCP, a letter from the PCP, but 30% of the folks in my district are uninsured. So guess what? A lot of these groups are being locked out, so we're behind. That's why this rescue plan and package is so needed. So we can make sure that we can try to provide a foundation for some type of semblance of normalcy so we can get back to a productive workforce. And just imagine the kids are not even in school. And so this is a whole economic tsunami that we're facing, and that this rescue plan need to be passed today so we can move forward and help our communities out.